JRPG fans have been eating pretty well lately. I mean, about as good as Oasis fans. Lucky for me, I'm both. I'm mad for it, baby. And wouldn't you know it, the latest Nintendo Direct just served up another heaping helping of delicious JRPG goodness. Now, despite some hushed talks in niche corners of the JRPG community, I didn't expect a full remake of Trails in the Sky. I thought we'd get like a port or like a trilogy collection or something, and honestly I thought that would have been fine. But no, we've seen it, it's real. The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky the First is a full-blown remake that seems to pair Trails in the Sky with Trails Through Daybreak's awesome gameplay. But this goes much further than just updated mechanics. This remake could put to rest a huge discussion surrounding the Trails series as a whole. Or it could make it much worse. So, a huge question when someone starts Trails is, where do I begin? Trails in the Sky has always been my de facto answer to that question. It was the first released, it's the earliest point in the timeline, it just makes the most sense to start there. Now, there are alternate starting points for sure, but all of those stem from the fact that people either didn't want to or couldn't play Sky. There's a few reasons for that. Maybe they don't have a PC or not one they can play on. Maybe they just simply couldn't get into the game. After all, the games show their age a little bit, they're pretty slow paced, sometimes they can feel a little repetitive, especially for players who haven't bought into the series yet. Now, I get a lot of pushback when I bring up that the game is old, because it's only from the mid-2000s, but I think a lot of people underestimate just how far JRPGs have come in terms of being, well, less annoying to play in the last few years. This remake has the potential to address all of these issues. Imagine a Trails in the Sky with restructured storytelling, refined pacing, all of these modern quality of life mechanics that we've come to love in newer entries. This could very easily become the definitive starting point for the Trails series. The Sky trilogy is among the best JRPGs ever made, but it seems like I'm constantly seeing people making excuses to not play them. In a way, I get it. I've talked about how this community can be sort of gatekeepy, even though it's well-intentioned, but I just want people to play this series. I want them to experience it. I want them to experience it in order. I don't want them to be spoiled, and I certainly don't want them to skip what I feel like to be the strongest part of the series. With this new remake, though, these games are going to be fresh, modern. No one's going to want to skip these bad boys. I think new players are eager for that opportunity. Now, before we move on, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a like and go ahead and subscribe and stick around. You can also swing by our community Discord if that's your thing. Anyway, we have to address the elephant in the room. The remake is currently said to be a Switch exclusive. I think that's a terrible idea. That's taking it from one platform prison to another. And honestly, it's kind of the same in 2024 as releasing a cult classic movie only on DVD. Look, I love the Switch. It's a good little JRPG workhorse. But this isn't the platform I'd choose to play the remake on if I could. Hopefully this is just a timed exclusive and it's not going to be a big deal at the end of the day. So yeah, this remake might end the is it okay to skip Sky debate. But it's definitely going to spark another one. Now we're all going to be asking, do I play the old Sky or do I play the new Sky? Especially if they do end up shifting scenes around or playing around with pacing. I'd like to hope that no real plot points get changed because, well, I don't think I'm alone in saying that the entire Sky trilogy is kind of perfect in that regard, but I also know they're going to want to make this as accessible and as easy to pick up as possible. So I think they'll probably thin out some of those more dense sequences, and maybe it needs it. I don't know. It's hard to say until we actually see it. I personally didn't think we even needed a remake at all, and yet here I am, excited as could be. You know how passionate this community is. There's going to be plenty of voices on both sides advocating for the superior way to play the games. At the end of the day, the good news is that the Trails series is thriving, baby, and that is an absolute win in my book. So what do you think? Are you excited for the remake? Do you think it will replace the original in your future playthroughs of the series? Too early to tell? Sound off in the comments, let's talk about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like it and subscribe to stick around and swing by our community Discord. I'm really trying to build this community up, and if you want to show your support, you can do so through Patreon or right here through a YouTube membership. Thank you again for watching, and thank you for being a part of this community.